Mr. Emery, the court has thoroughly reviewed and considered the record concerning the defendant's trial, including both the not guilty and penalty proceedings, as well as all of the evidence submitted by both the travel channel and the defense. The court has also evaluated and weighed the aggravating factors the jury has found to exist beyond a reasonable doubt and the mitigating circumstances established by the evidence. The court has been informed of a decision by the jury indicating a verdict. If the defendant will please stand. In the case regarding to Intereact versus the Travel Channel, case number 8008135, verdict form B, we the jury find the defendant Intereact.
Okay, what's up guys? It's Emery, back with another video. And you're probably wondering what the hell you're watching, and why I'm dressed up. Just bear with me and I'll explain everything. So it all started about 2 days ago, when my partner in crime, Kel, got hit with a copyright claim on his newest video, covering the Travel Channel. And as this was our first one, I was a bit alarmed, especially considering we hadn't received one and had been making videos with the YouTube Fair Use Agreement in mind. We've been adding to the video, and we have not been straight up just showing like the full clip or whatever. So like any reasonable 20-year-old with no law degree, I rushed straight to my local Walmart, read some books about being a lawyer, bought the best suit that money could buy, and sat down to make our case. And also to talk about some of the complete hypocrisies of the Travel Channel being the one to claim our video, and continue the chain of big YouTube channels bullying little creators. So with no further ado, let's get straight into it. Your Honor, to begin, I'd like to start with a simple question. What is the fair use exception doctrine? Well, I can answer that for you. Fair use is a legal doctrine that promotes freedom of expression by promoting the unlicensed use of copyright-protected works in certain circumstances. Section 107 of the Copyright Act provides the statutory framework for determining whether something is fair use and identifies certain types of uses such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research as examples of activities that may qualify as fair use. So now that we have a better understanding of copyright and fair use, I'd like to point out that we are a commentary channel who up until this point have been making videos criticizing and making a mockery of other videos, while adding our own thoughts and opinions in throughout. As you may know, we are not even close to the first two people to think this idea up. And this has been a staple of YouTube for years. So throughout this trial, I'd like to not only show, but prove beyond reasonable doubt that this copyright claim was not well-founded and is simply just another case of a big YouTuber using their power as a tool to cripple the up-and-coming. During this trial, I'm going to provide all of the evidence I've compiled against the plaintiff to prove not only that this is an egregious attempt at defaming our channel, but also an ironic attempt to silence people trying to deface their questionable background. That'll be all. Okay, so to begin, I'd like to shine some light on the Travel Channel's past, because unlike the Intereact channel, the Travel Channel has a history of lying and deceiving their audience. And let's be real, when you have a tainted name, do you really have the grounds to make false accusations against small creators? That's as crazy as watching a murder happen, then believing the guy who committed the act when he says it wasn't him. So the Travel Channel has a long history, and by long history, I mean they are owned by the Discovery Channel. And of all the different channels that the Discovery Channel owns, are probably the worst. But in order to not get off topic, I'd like to focus on some of the reputable shows they broadcast, such as, and wait for it, Ghost Adventures, Urban Legend, Paranormal, Caught on Camera, Expedition Bigfoot, and most famously, Helltown. So clearly, you can tell this channel is packed full of these shows that are founded on conspiracy. And while outside of what my research entailed, I've never actually seen most of these shows, I can tell you that they are most likely those long-ass shows where they lead the viewer on all season thinking you're getting close to solving the mystery, just like one long Scooby-Doo episode. And then, Unlike where Scooby-Doo pulls the mask off and solves the case, the Travel Channel just cock teases you and renews it for another season. Real fun. I'm sure it's really fun for all of the 7 viewers who actively watch these shows, if you can call them that. And frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if they were losing money, paying these expert professors from community colleges such as Professor Paul Wyndham, Professor of Folklore and Mythology. Now, there is a reason that I brought this man up. His famous role was lead professor on a show broadcasted by the Travel Channel, Helltown. Now, I'm not going to deep dive because there's an excellent video by Billiam that I'll leave linked in the description, going into like everything surrounding it. But I will sum it up though. So in a place called Boston, Ohio, nicknamed Helltown, there's a cult, a Wendigo, a missing children, a hidden FBI bunker, and a larger than average python, all exclusive Travel Channel footage. Headed by 2 YouTubers, an ex-Marine, and a professor, they dig and investigate this conspiracy. However, believe it or not, this is all just a huge money grab, with fake stock footage to scare and heighten the emotions, or whatever they were going for. To be honest with you, all of this is just a big load of bull. So why did I bring this up, you ask? How are we gonna allow a channel essentially famous for faking footage, using Shutterstock images of missing children, and Google Maps images of completely different countries to show hidden CIA bunkers? Now, how are we gonna let a channel that's failing and has to resort to fake paranormal bullshit in order to keep views high enough to stay afloat, control what we can and can't say on this app? Not to mention, how can you trust that their accusation is the truth when they can't even bother to provide factual information in their TV shows? You can't. Plain and simple. Your Honor, during the next few minutes, I'd like to share something I learned while obtaining my Walmart law degree. The 4 factors of fair use. Fair use. Historically, a gray area that you must tread lightly between. However, being the greatest lawyer no money could buy, I'm going to attempt to clear up how we did not violate the fair use agreement using the 4 factors of fair use. Factor number 1, the purpose and character of the use. Now, factor number 1 is the most important and easily the most defining way to prove fair use. So I'm going to focus in on this, and mainly a certain aspect of it called transformative use. Transformative use essentially means taking a video and transforming it and adding to it to create something different. There are many sections of my client's video that clearly are transforming the video and adding edits of humor to a video that is intended to be a horror video. I'd like to draw your attention to this clip from my client's video.
And this guy's a fucking goofball, bro. He looks more scared than the fucking girl, bro. He looks terrified to be there. You're like 6'4". What the fuck is a demon gonna do to you, bro?
This is clearly showing my client not only joking and adding outside sources into his video to create comedy and add something different, but let me also remind the court that this video that we are being accused on is of the horror genre and is meant to scare the audience. So how is my client infringing on this video while adding comedy and humor in with outside sources that don't pertain to the video in question? But if that's not enough for you, let's go ahead and talk about factor number 2, the nature of the copyrighted work. Now, the second factor is a bit harder to judge as it comes down to the creativity of the work published. Therefore, like, the more creative the content, the less chance you'll find fair use. Now it is to our team's belief that we didn't add too many creative elements to our video to change like the actual structure of it. Our video was still covering the Travel Channel's content, but not only covering it, but also adding our own twist to it in order to respect the intellectual property of the Travel Channel. If we go ahead and take a look at Exhibit B, my client did link the respective video in the description and was not attempting to steal the property for his own. Factor 3, the amount used. Obviously, being a commentary / reaction channel, we would need to take content to react to it, and while factor 3 mainly points towards the time used of the copyrighted work, and we did use the whole clip in its entirety, and this is honestly where I can wholeheartedly understand the reasoning behind the move to strike our video. But I'd also like to make an attempt to defend our use by showing the splits, meaning I went through and timed the entire video and got verification from my client that only 6.5 minutes of the 8-minute runtime of the plaintiff's video was used in my client's video. Now my client's video was 14 minutes, so you do the math. That's not even 50% of the video. So in our 14-minute runtime, we spent less than half of it on the video in question, but my client is being flagged? Outrageous, if you ask me. Factor 4, the effective use on the market. Not much to say about this one because while historically it's been used a lot, recently the courts have been shifting to the other 3 factors because they are the more logical when considering such a heavy topic. Even if this was the main factor, if anything, 1, the Intereact channel is not monetized, and 2, the full video was plugged, so even if the video were to blow up, if anything, it would bring more traction and more money to the travel channel's pockets, and Lord knows they fucking need it. But I guess that's what this is all about, money. I guarantee you they would try to demonetize it and claim the money as their own, because it seems as if their pockets are hurting. I would like to call Kellen to the stand.
Do you solemnly swear that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Kell, when you created and published your video titled "Woman Blames a Demon for Her Marriage Failing," was your primary intention to profit off the travel channel's intellectual property?
In no way, any shape or form would I maliciously or intentionally steal other people's work. No. When I released this video, it was strictly for entertainment purposes for my audience. As you can see, I gave them their credit in the description, and I have no monetization on the video.
What was your primary motivation behind the video?
My primary motivation with this video was to gain traction and views and subscribers towards my YouTube channel, which you could argue could thus create revenue. But I would argue that it's not in straight creating revenue from your video. Simply it's getting traction. So
Are you aware of copyright infringement?
am I aware of copyright infringement? Of course I'm aware of copyright infringement. I actually lost a buddy to copyright back in 2015, man. His whole channel got copyrighted, he got hit with it. It's rough. So yeah, I've seen it firsthand, if I'm being honest, I have.
Do you believe that you have committed copyright infringement?
No, I don't think that I committed copyright infringement myself.
Why not?
Because if you look into the copyright statute, there is some rules that let commentary and reaction videos go. So as far as that goes, I think that I cut up the video enough that I shouldn't be sitting in this seat right now, but here we are.
So, Your Honor, just listen to my client. He clearly understands the rules and regulations behind copyright and fair use. So, I mean, I personally, like he said, I don't even know why we're here and why we're having to put up a defense. He understands the rules. I feel like I've laid it out pretty simple that we haven't committed any of these violations. So I think it should be a pretty easy decision for the jury. Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor. Before closing arguments and the verdict, I'd just like to take a second to talk to the jury. I'd like to talk about how unfair this copyright system is towards smaller creators such as my client. How these big companies and creators use their power like a crutch to not only profit, but shut down any competition or criticism. And personally, do we really think that's fair? Let's look at the bigger picture here. And just take a step away from the Intereact versus Travel Channel debacle. And just look at all of the striving content creators struggling to tiptoe around big corporates' traps in order to make them fail. The next Mr. Beast could be in this room right now, waiting to hear if he needs to live in fear of the Travel Channel or any of the other big creators. In conclusion, I'd like to start by saying thank you. Thank you for spending your time hearing me out and listening to my arguments, and I hope that I've proved that the Intereact channel did not commit copyright infringement. I hope that I've shined a light on the evil practices by these big creators, and I hope that I've convinced you to rule in my client's favor. Once again, thank you.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Intereact, not guilty on all accounts of copyright infringement.
Yo, what's up guys, it's Emery. If you like this video, make sure and leave a thumbs up. Make sure you show some support. I really enjoyed making this for you, me and Kel Boat. We had a lot of fun making this, and we'd love to make more content like this in the future. Just show some support, show us you're interested in this kind of stuff, and we'll get straight to it. With that being said, Derp out.